Hello and welcome back to Ready, Set, Enjoy. My name's Connor. I've been away for a little while. I've had a bit of a busy life, paternity leave, kid, going back to work, all this kind of stuff. But I'm back and I wanted to kick off this channel reunion with a good old-fashioned what the heck am I using, what the heck am I carrying kind of video. So it's been, I think, about 5 months since I posted a video, and I think it's time for us to cover what am I carrying, what do I have in my bags that I carry with me every day, and generally what's my EDC for 2026. So let's get into it. Let's start off with what I carry in my pockets, because to be quite honest with you, it's the least interesting part of, my carry. So the easiest thing is a phone. I did have to get a new one because my beloved 15 Pro finally bit the dust. And so this is a 17 Pro, and I like the blue one. And I got a D-brand Ghost case on it. It's got just a little bit of protection and a clear back. I'm not usually a case person, but I decided to go for a case instead of AppleCare this time around. See how that works out. The next thing is the watch. This has not changed. It's an Apple Watch Ultra 2 with a Nomad band on it. Exactly the same. I've had this watch for 3 years now, and it still works really, really well. In my left front pocket, there's always a set of AirPods. These are ancient at this point. I think they're AirPods Pro 2. They are 4 or 5 years old. Nothing very interesting going on there. And then the back right pocket is the Smith Blade Pro from Hacksmith. Ever since I unboxed it on the channel, it has been in my pocket, and I've been quite happy with it. I've only had to sharpen it maybe 3 times in the last 6 months. I find the driver bits very, very handy to have on me because there's always something to fix or tighten. The knife has stayed, quite sharp for long periods of time. The pocket clip on this thing is kind of a underrated part of it. It's one of the best pocket clips of any of the knives or tools that I own. And pretty much everything I said in my review still stands. I found almost no use for the Fire Striker, and it doesn't really work very well. The glass breaker, I think, is kind of more hindrance than useful, because it kind of just pokes you sometimes in ways that you don't really want, and doesn't bring all that much utility. The pry bar is very useful, though. I'm really glad that it has a pry bar, because like I said in the review video, I have no desire to carry a dedicated EDC pry bar, and this lets me have one on hand because they are genuinely useful. And that's everything that I keep on me. Not that interesting, so let's move on to the interesting stuff. All right, so a couple of things have changed since the last time I did any kind of carry video. I have 2 bags that I now carry with me on a regular basis. I always had the fanny pack, but I've added a backpack to my rotation for a couple of reasons. One is that I have been training for competitive target archery, which I actually have a new channel for. I will link that down below. But also, I've been going to the gym a lot more, and I have a kid now, so there's just a higher requirement to carry stuff. So we'll start off talking about the bag, the sling, and then we will move on to the backpack. So let's get into this one. The sling itself has changed. I said the last time I did one of these videos, I had the 2-liter Peak Design outdoor sling, and now I have the 4-liter. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that I wanted the dedicated keys pocket. The 2-liter has the key leash in the main pocket with everything else, and it was scratching my sunglasses. And I had to get a set of lenses replaced on my sunglasses because the keys and the sunglasses were not playing well together. And then the other reason is because the 4-liter has a zippered pocket on the inside that the 2-liter did not. And I had just enough little bits and bobs in there that were floating around and getting super disorganized it was really bugging me. So for those two reasons, I decided to go up to the 4-liter. And by the way, Peak Design is not at all associated with me in one shape or any. I just like them. I just like Peak Design bags. All of my bags are Peak Design. I got in one of their very first Kickstarters, and I've just kind of been addicted to them ever since. So not associated with me in any way, shape, or form, but I just really like them. So in this front pocket is the keys. They are attached to the key leash. So it's my truck key, house, cabin, my bow case, and our camping trailer keys are on there, and that stays in that front pocket. And then on the inside, there are two stretchy mesh pockets, and I will talk about what's in each of those. So trying to get at this as best I can. In this pocket is my wallet and my multi-tool, and then in this pocket is a battery and a flashlight. So let's take a look at those. The wallet is same as it's been for a long time, the Peak Design MagSafe Slim wallet. It is just a darn good wallet. I have no problem with it. It's very small, keeps the cards secure, the magnet is nice and strong, and I've had no reason to change this out. The multi-tool is the Leatherman Free P2. It is the same multi-tool that I've had for the longest time, but I did make one modification to it, and that is I got a VG10. It's Damascus. I didn't buy it because it's Damascus. I bought it because it's the only straight edge blade that I could find as a replacement for the Free P2. But I did want the straight edge blade instead of the combo blade that it comes with, and I swapped that out and added a 3D printed thumb stud so that it's easier to deploy one-handed. And otherwise, it's the same old Leatherman Free P2 that I've had for years now. As for the battery bank, it's a little beat up, but I do have, well, it's quite beat up and dirty actually. I have this Anker, what is the model number? It is the Anker Nano Power Bank 5K Mag Go Slim. That's quite a name, but it has MagSafe, so you can just slap it on the back of the phone and the phone starts charging, as you can see, or you can use the USB-C port on the side, lights to see how charged it is. It's very small, it's excellent. I take this everywhere I go and I use it very, very often. And then the flashlight also has not changed. This is the Phoenix PD25R. I have had this flashlight for probably 2 years now, and I continue to love it. It has this collar that you unscrew right here, and it exposes a USB Type-C port for recharging. It has the simplest UI possible. The tail button turns it on and off, and the side button rotates through the intensity levels. There's really no simpler that you could get. And then it has a dual-sided clip on it, so you could attach it to your hat, although I found that this does dangle, and so I have to kind of tuck it up into the hat. Anyways, I don't use it that way very often. This is mostly used for walking the dogs at night, because there's some areas in my neighborhood and also at our cabin that are completely pitch black at night, and I need to walk the dogs, so this just comes with me anytime I go out with them. So those are those two main stretchy pockets. Let's look at the zippered interior pocket. So on the back wall of the sling, there is this zippered pouch, and inside I keep a whole bunch of smaller items, like I said, that kind of just flap about if you don't have them contained. So I have a small USB Type-C cable. It's the one that came with the battery bank. I actually keep just the twist tie that came with it. I keep it attached and I keep it bundled up and in that back pocket for when I need to charge something that isn't MagSafe. I have some basic over-the-counter meds in an old, this is a container for baby nose sucker filters. It's called AquaSense. Look it up if you want, but it's a really great little pill container. So in here I've got Advil, Tylenol, Cetrazine, which is a seasonal allergy med, and then a Benadryl. So that is the most common set of meds that myself and my family generally need. Then I have a small bottle of hand sanitizer because we have kids. Our kid has friends, and between our kid and our kid's friends, somebody's always sick. And so trying to avoid being sick as much as possible is a pretty good goal. Chapstick, just a run-of-the-mill gas station chapstick. And then I've got a teeny tiny itty bitty little Bic lighter. Not for any kind of survival purposes. I'm not using it for that. It's mostly for, you know, threads that come off. You need to rip off someone's shirt and, you know, just burn the end to make sure it doesn't fray. And then Band-Aids and some tiny little gauze squares. I've got small Band-Aids, large Band-Aids, and these gauze pads. Because to be quite honest with you, scrapes, cuts, and headaches and stomach aches, those are by far the most frequent ailments that you're going to come across in day-to-day life, especially with a kid. And so to me, the, you know, over-the-counter meds plus some basic bandages is going to solve 99% of day-to-day issues. This is enough for the day-to-day. So that's everything in my sling bag. Let's move on to the backpack. All right, the backpack. Like I said, I'm a big Peak Design fan, so this is the smaller of the Peak Design outdoor backpacks. I believe it's 22 liters. I will double check on that. This is one of their newer bags. I think it came out last year, and this is, like I said, primarily used for the gym, for going to the archery range, and for just day-to-day outings with, you know, having a kid and a family with me. So one of the things I like about this bag is probably something that a lot of people will not like, is that it does not have a lot of organization. It's really straightforward and simple. It has a water bottle pocket on each side, which is easily able to hold a Nalgene, which I usually do. We have a bunch of beat up old Nalgenes that are just amazing and they'll never die, and so water bottle is number one thing that's always in the bag. But it also has these cord, they call them the cord hook system, and there's these attachment points all along the sides of the bag and a couple on the front that you can attach these cords to. So if you have a taller item, you could have the cord, you know, up here to hold a taller item. I don't use them a lot, but when you need them, it's really nice to have. So I have one of those on each side. So I keep the water bottle in the one side, and then in the other side I keep my sunglasses case. So this is an Oakley case that I put a paracord dangle and a Night Eyes mini S-beaner on for, you know, ease of use. And then inside are my sunglasses. So I did have to get new sunglasses. Unfortunately, recently, I used to have the Oakley Manor Burn, which I loved, and I had them for a long time, and I replaced the lenses twice because I didn't want to get new sunglasses, and the lenses got scratched. But I did, unfortunately, lose them, and after looking for them for several weeks and not finding them, I just had to give up. And so I got the Oakley Catalyst, and they are similar to the Manor Burn. They are polarized, which my old ones were not. And the main reason that I got these ones is because they were on the clearance shelf, and they were the least expensive ones in the store that I didn't hate the look of, to be quite honest with you. So they are in this Oakley hard case, so that I'm trying really hard to take better care of my expensive sunglasses, and they go in the other water bottle pocket of the bag. And then the straps each have a mesh pocket on them. So when I'm wearing the bag, sometimes my phone will go in this one. And then in this one, I just have a bunch of tissues. So a pack of travel tissues, which I just refilled because they were empty. That is useful for snotty noses and dirty faces and all that kind of stuff. You can detach the straps if you wish. I do not wish. I have not, so doesn't really matter there. It's quite comfortable. There's good breathability on the bag. The straps are nice and thick and not super padded, but padded enough that when this bag is fully loaded, it's quite comfortable to hold for quite a long time. And then in terms of organization, there's 2 pockets on the front here. So there's a zipper on either side of this front panel, and they're kind of overlapping pockets. So there's one kind of in the front and then one behind it. And that's really all there is in terms of like fancy pockets. But let's go into the main compartment first. And when I open this up, there's nothing in there. Just kidding. There's only one thing that I keep in here all of the time, and that is a packing cube, which I use as an emergency diaper bag. So if we forget to bring the kids' main diaper bag, I've got a couple of diapers, I've got wipes, I've got a bottle of formula, and a change of clothes for the kiddo. And this is quite literally just in case we ever forget to bring his main diaper bag with us, which we have done, and I have had to use this emergency kit a couple of times, and then I need to remember to refill it. So this packing cube, it's a Peak Design packing cube, just stays stuffed in the bottom of the bag, and then the rest I leave open for things that I need to carry, which is shoes, change of clothes, snacks, whatever, for my day at the range or day at the gym. And then there is a pocket that comfortably holds my 13-inch iPad Pro, which is kind of my main computer when I'm not working. And so if I'm going to the cabin for the weekend or just going on a short weekend trip, this bag holds enough clothes and my 13-inch iPad. I'm not bringing my 16-inch work laptop with me on a weekend away. So it is a really good weekender bag. All right, so now getting into those 2 front pockets, I'll do the less interesting one first. So in the right side, I keep snacks. So big bars, granola bars, and some snacks for the kid. You can never have enough extra snacks because nothing makes for a bad outing like a grumpy family because they're hungry. So easily solve that problem with snacks on hand, and I refill those on the regular. And then on the left side, going in here, is I guess the slightly more interesting part. So the first thing that's in this pocket is some of the cord hook straps for the bag. I keep them just bundled up with an elastic in case I ever need more than the 2 that are on the side. And then I also have this small pouch that goes in that main pocket. And this is how I supplement the lack of organization in that bag. Because there's no admin pockets, there's no fiddly little pockets. I make my own pockets. So this is a Leatherman pouch. I got it because it was a free gift with the purchase of a new Leatherman, and I did buy a Leatherman signal for my bushcraft kit, which we'll talk about in another video. But this is my everyday backpack pouch, and so let's go through what's in this one. First things first, it is a Leatherman pouch, so therefore it must contain a Leatherman, right? And it sure does. So this is my Skeletool CX. I've had this for a number of years, and it used to live in my truck in the toolkit that I keep in my truck center console, but I moved this to the backpack pouch because I put the signal in the bushcraft kit, and the bushcraft kit lives in the truck. And so I have a capable Leatherman in the truck. This one moved to here, along with the bit kit. So if I need to swap out for something Torx or a different size or whatever, I have the bit kit in here with me. And then also the bit extender. It's not the ratcheting one. It's just the regular one, but if I need to, I can have a nice long driver right there in case I need to reach and fix something that is slightly out of reach. So that is the kind of tool portion of this pouch. I also have a Milwaukee Inkzol permanent marker for all those times where I need to label something or write a note or whatever. I have another Bic lighter because 2 is 1, 1 is none. And then another chapstick because it gets really freaking dry here, especially in the winter. And then I have a roll of self-adhering gauze for wrapping any kind of larger scrape. And then I have in this back pouch back here more of the same Band-Aids and gauze squares as I have in the fanny pack, because you can never have too many boo-boo handling devices. So I believe that's everything that I keep in the pouch. So as you can tell, this is not super tactical. It's not super crazy. This is all just regular day-to-day having a kid, living your life, going to the gym, going to the grocery store. I'm not, looking to save myself in the event of a catastrophe. It's not a bug out bag. It's not a get home bag. This is truly just a little things to solve little problems type of bag. And that's all I've ever really needed. The serious stuff is in the truck. And so if I ever needed to do anything beyond the capability of these bags, I got the real stuff in the truck. So we'll maybe do another update video on the truck, but to be honest with you, it hasn't changed that much since I did the last video. So I'll put a thing if you want to go check out the truck video and all the gear that I have in there. And otherwise, I think that's going to be it for this one. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching. I would love it if you hit that button underneath that says you like the video or subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll be posting more regularly now that life has calmed down a little bit. I'll also have a link to my archery channel where I look at competitive target archery as well as some upcoming bow hunting, which I've never done before, but I have been invited on a trip. So if you want to check that out, there is another channel for it. And otherwise, stay ready, get set, and go enjoy your life. Cheers.